Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. Come on in and let's talk about it. Look, how's everybody doing this morning, man? It's early in the morning. And listen, we're going to say it like we say in church. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice this morning and be glad in it. How's everybody feeling, man? Money Eagles fight on from Philly. Man, what's going on?
Fight on, fight on.
How's everybody doing this morning? We want to talk about it, man. Big J, what's going on?
Man, you know me, brother. I'm just fired up. I'm just way turned up right now, bro. It's butt crack in the morning for me right now. And I'm juiced right now, ready to go.
It's early, man. We had to get it like this, man. We wanted to try to make it work. We wanted to stay consistent as far as the preview is concerned. And we just had to get this one in early this morning. We know that some of the chat may be limited, but we want to still get this information over, man, and really kind of talk about it, man. How's everybody doing this morning? Big Brian, what's up, my man? Brian, what's going on?
What's up, Brian?
What's going on? Eddie, what's going on, man? Y'all come on in, man. Those who are able, man, wake up. Come on in. Those who will wake up to it. We appreciate you, man. So listen, we want to talk about this Utah versus USC. And listen, man, we all of us, we all understand how that game went last time. Last time we were out there to Rice-Eccles Stadium, it was a very disappointing thing. Not only that, we had some guys that took some serious injuries, man, as a result. And the team seemed like it was never really the same. And so it wasn't until last game and the game prior to that, we started seeing some guys moving and grooving, and we started seeing the team starting to make progression, man. Big J, what's your thoughts on that as we get ready to come into this thing, man?
Well, it seems like our squad is peaking at the right time. I think that we have gone through enough struggle and enough adversity and enough victory and enough camaraderie and all of the things that's needed to make you a well-rounded, well-oiled, refined machine. And as you can see in the second half of the season, ultimately after that initial Utah game, our offense has been ridiculous. Our offense has just been, they've really gelled together. More weapons have shown up and declared themselves as valuable options for our quarterback, who ultimately should and will most likely win the Heisman Trophy in the next couple of days here. I think that ceremony is on the 10th of December. But what it looks like is that our team has found a way to do exactly what I assumed they've always been doing, which was, it's called periodization, where you start at one level and it's almost like climbing the top of the pyramid one step at a time. And as you get to the peak, things get a little bit tighter, things get a little bit more organized, things get cleaner, and you see more. You get more vision because now you're at a higher elevation point. And I think it was required, possibly, very possibly, and I hate to say that we suffered a loss, but I believe that loss was the actual beginning of the development for the rest of our championship tenure. And it's great. It's great to know that all of the athletes have gone through that level of struggle and how they were sacrificing their bodies, and they found out that the ball may not bounce your way on any given Saturday or Friday or Thursday sometimes in the Pac-12. But what I love to see is that on a quick turnaround, like we just played last Saturday, and we beat up our rival for the second week in a row, fight on Trojan family. And now we're about to hit it again tomorrow. It's the day before the game, and it's a quick week, but it feels like it's taking forever to get here, right? So I'm just excited that at the tail end of this phase of the season that we are in the hunt for some jewelry. These athletes who have been a part of this Trojan family have been they've been neglected of those types of opportunities, and now it's time to create a new generation of Trojan Pac-12 champions who can walk around and say, we really did something really special. Because a lot of people, man, never thought that we were going to win 10 10 games this season.
Man,
So many people, I mean, let alone Pac-12 championship, and then have the potential to bust into the CFP for the very first time since its inception and really, really reclaim our national thumbprint on the landscape of how this whole college system works. But and then to have 7 All-Americans, to have the productivity that we've had, to have a Heisman Trophy potential and Heisman Trophy winning quarterback in a coach's very first year, none of this is heard of. It's unprecedented. And just like in spring ball, when they interviewed Coach Riley and they said, "How are you feeling about this team? How, what is, you have never had to build a team." Most people have said you've inherited good teams from other coaches, and now you're able to just put the pieces together well.
Absolutely.
In this particular situation, we have a coach who has shown himself intellectual guru. He understands the coaches that he needs as a support staff. He recognizes the skills and types of players that he needs to put in the system. They developed the culture, especially with Coach Wiley, the strength and conditioning staff. And it's amazing. So right now, everybody breathe this in. Inhale this, because this is the beginning of a new dynasty in the Trojan family.
Absolutely. I want to address something. Totally agree with everything you said. I want to address something that you mentioned. The ball may not bounce the way you always wanted to, and we want to address that. But kind of addressing the fact that you mentioned the transfer portal, how he's blended everything together. Everybody doesn't have the ability. If you look all across college, the landscape of college football, there were a lot of teams that had transfer. I mean, like I said, Alabama's had Jahmyr Gibbs, Georgia Tech's best running back. They got one of Louisville's best receivers. You look across other teams, man. Other teams, whether they got Keenan Slovis over at Pittsburgh, West Virginia got JT Daniels. You look all these different teams all around the country. Everybody, and look for this. If we are successful and go all the way, look for them saying that we're not a team that's really put together, because they don't want to address the fact that you got other teams all over the country that's had these blended teams as well. Now, who has the ability to make it work? Like Lincoln Riley, I mean, that's on them. But Lincoln Riley absolutely had this thing blended it together and made it and gel together. And as a result, you're seeing success on a whole nother level. And now he has essentially the blueprint of how to bring a team together, how to a team from guys that are all from different walks of life, different walks of teams. And now we're seeing some stuff in effect in a way that, man, like nobody ever thought that this can happen, man. They said it would be 5 years. I remember they said it'd be 5 years until Lincoln Riley. They said the program was so torn down that this program would take 5 years to get it right, man. What's your thoughts on that?
I remember all that. I remember reading all that with that pain in the pit of my stomach and just feeling that tight throat. Just looking at how the media spoke about my beloved university, looking at how the media didn't respect so many other athletes that I knew who played football for USC. Just reading all that, like, it's so painful to be in a position where you know that your pedigree is top tier, but your respect is at the bottom level. And so being at the bottom of the basement of particularly of the legendary or the pedigree schools, and there's a few, there's some staples in this country of schools that you hear their name and you're like, that is one of the iconic schools, right? I don't need to name them, but you most certainly know that USC is one of them. And for us to have had to go through almost 20 years of just foolishness and just the battery of what this program should be. I mean, this college landscape has they've been just stabbing at USC for years. And you could tell that there was a a new shift coming. You can feel it. You can feel it earlier in the season before we played one game where, you know, I'm gonna say the coach from Alabama. You may know who he is.
Yeah.
You know, where
I
he
knew
was
you were gonna say that.
he was already talking
He could tell,
about
man. He could tell.
the fear
Yeah.
of, oh no, they're back. Oh no, we cannot compete with them when they're like this. I mean, I was at the game last week. And not to talk about last week too much, but the culture is becoming reestablished here, where it's a place where everybody feels invited. It's a great environment. At the game last week, you may not know who it is, but it was Roddy Ricch was there. He's a local rapper. Kids love him. He was on the sideline ringing the victory bell. We had Will I Am in this stadium down there on the field. You know, we had so a lot of social media influencers. There's one of my boys. I love him, man. He's hilarious, very talented guy. He kind of helped set the trend. I'm gonna be honest. He is pretty much responsible for helping set the trend on being able to be compensated while playing football. His name is Destroying. Right now, this was a kicker. He played in a school in Florida, I believe. He was a kicker, had a full scholarship, but he also was a content creator, and he created a YouTube page that was hilarious. Him doing talented things. I mean, the dude could kick dang near 70-yard field goals. I mean, it's pretty incredible what this guy can do. And he's a bruh. And he was creating so much content that his page started to monetize. Now, his page started to monetize while he was playing football. And the people and the powers that be were like, hey, you're not allowed to make money and be a student athlete. You're not allowed to get this extra compensation and we still pay for your scholarship. So one of two things can happen. You can keep your YouTube channel and continue to play football in us and pursue your dreams as an NFL kicker, or we can cut your scholarship and you can keep doing whatever you're doing and creating content. Well, I'm going to tell you what, man, this young man, he bet on himself. And he said, I love my school, but at the same time, I'm already building into my future. And I want to do this. This is what I want to do in my career, is create content and play sports. So he's doing both now. And he's got hundreds of thousands, if not nearly millions of followers across all his channels. He was down there at the game, and like, he's a symbol of like what it is to be in this generation, a student athlete. And we get athletes that are coming like that to our games. It's going to bring the floodgates open. I mean, imagine all those recruits that were there. And I got to meet, I don't know, 20 of them or so of the 100 that were there. All those athletes were just excited to see Will I Am, Roddy Ricch. There was so many other celebrities, and I'm drawing a blank on how many there were, but it was just such a vibrant environment that we're back.
Absolutely. And hey, Jay, if you remember over the summer, I was trying to get everybody when that coach said that, because I don't want to put any names out there, but when said what he said, and when he targeted another school within his own conference, I said, listen, this is the new reality. This is the new recruiting tool. It's called the transfer portal, and it's called the NIL. And now, these past couple of days, man, this transfer portal has been going absolutely berserk. Yeah. I don't know if everybody's been seeing this, man, but it's been going crazy. And let me tell you something, with the success, everybody, like I said, everybody doesn't have the ability to blend people together. Lincoln Riley does. I just think it's in his DNA. It's his character. It's who he is. And he's able to do it, man. You mentioned the coaching staff, the strength, Wiley, the strength and conditioning coach, Wiley. I think all these guys, they blended this thing together. And you're going to see other athletes from other schools look at USC in a whole different way now, not just recruits, but we're talking about current players, current best players from other schools are going to say, look, we want to come here. We want to be a part of what you're building, because what you're building is absolutely special, man. So listen, we got a lot more coming in here now. Listen, I'm going to make an announcement. Hey, you guys, I'm about to put it, I'm going to have a YouTube store. You see it, it's Lost in the Sauce. You're going to see it. I'm going to have Lost in the Sauce hats. I'm going to have it all. But look, we want to get on the Utah game, and moving on to that. Listen, Utah, they say Utah has a 65% chance of winning the game, and I totally don't get it. And USC is a 3-point favorite. Now, you make me understand that one. What's your initial thoughts as we come into this game? Utah having 65-point chance to win, and USC being a 3-point favorite. And we'll get into the Utah.
Well, there's a whole lot of variables that go into the dynamics of how these games get operated. And something that I referenced before the last Utah game where I said, hey man, I would not be surprised if the powers that be had a hand in manipulating the outcome of this game. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, and I'm very much not entirely a conspiracy theorist. However, I've just been a part of games where I know that the outcome was impacted by officiating and other variables that I don't really feel comfortable speaking about. But when you see it and you feel it and it's just it's blatant, that's when you have to go, okay, man, dude, the ball it can't bounce our way today. And to keep it within the spread.
And that's what we want. Yeah.
And to keep it within the spread there's some high level factors that come into play when there's huge money lines. And now that we can so openly gamble on these games, you got to recognize, man, it could get a little wild, man. It could get a little wild. And so for us to be the favorite, and then for the other squad to, in the odds, have a 65% chance, a far greater chance of victory, it's something that's raising an eyebrow worthy. It's like, However,
doesn't make any sense.
However, all we got to do is trust that we got an awesome Father in heaven who honors his people. And I don't believe that on this landscape, under this microscope, on a Friday night, in front of the whole country, because that's the only premier football game.
Yes, and I think that's going to help us. That's going to benefit us in a major way.
Those are the types of things that can bode for us, because we don't want extra benefits. We just want a fair game. We just
That's all we want. Yeah.
And so, yeah, man. With that being said, I just know that the last game plan that we use may not work on either side of the ball. There has to be some level of other wrinkle in, to impact this outcome. So I do see that our coaches have had the ability and the propensity to make adjustments on the go and to adapt to the demands of each game. And now I feel as though we're healthier going into this game than we were leaving it the last time. That matters. I think the athletes, although they don't want to say it's a revenge game, I'm very, very comfortable to say that I've been speaking with them. I've been speaking with a handful of them, and they're all locked in. They're all focused, and they all understand the assignment. They all recognize what is at stake here, because I'm confident that if we win in a decisive manner, that we could not only boldly beat down the door of the CFP, the college football playoff, but we can also improve our positioning. We can advance a spot because of the strength of victories. And we're the only team right now playing, I think, a top 20 person within the playoff, that are in the top 4. So that matters.
Yeah. So let's throw this out there. If we were, and we know that this is at a different venue, and it's not at Rice-Eccles Stadium. By the way, we know Utah has a great record at home. But however, if you looked at the games this year, who they played, UCLA, Florida, and Oregon, all of those tough teams that they played this year, they've lost every single one of those games. And all those games coincidentally just happen to be away games. So we know that Utah is not the same away team as they are at home. So I think that's one factor. So the fact that we're playing in Vegas and pretty much had them on a neutral site. I'm not sure the distance. I can't remember the distance from Utah. It may be like 5. I don't know. I know from Vegas it's like 4 from LA. Somewhere around there.
It's a little less than equal, but I think we should have a 50-50.
Yeah, so it's pretty much a neutral site. So So my thing is that's number one. When you look at Utah this year, when they played away, when they played at Oregon, when they played at Florida, when they played at UCLA, they didn't come out successful at all. That's one aspect of it. But here's the real question I want to know. If we just say if we had a fair game, real fair game, and we played the exact same way we did last game, how do you think that turns out?
I think we win it by 17 points.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I
Let's
think
talk about
right.
Absolutely. Because we give our score predictions, but I think I feel the same way. I was thinking more of a 14-point win ahead. So what's your thoughts?
Yeah, had the game continued in the trajectory that it was going, if you guys recall, we were up by 2 touchdowns. They were driving to they were in their red zone or near their red zone to bring it within 1 score. And their great quarterback threw an interception in the end zone, and our All-American safety, Kalen Bullock, intercepted it. And for whatever reason, we had a lineman get home on a pass rush that actually impacted the throw and made the quarterback put more air on it. But as the quarterback threw the ball, he turned his shoulder, and our defensive lineman touched him on the back, within a stride of the ball being thrown. Completely clean, completely legitimate, completely within the rules of the game. That's what a pressure is. That's what a quarterback hurry is. That's why you get stacked for quarterback pressures and quarterback hurries. Okay. And they called it roughing the passer. So they not only took the interception away, but they awarded them 15 yards, which ultimately they scored on that drive. That is a big momentum shift. But had we been able to be honored on our great defensive play, and that's Grinch calling the perfect line stunt, the perfect pass rush, and our player being in position to make a play. That's an advantageous style of defense. Now they score, but had we not been penalized with the rate we were going, I believe we would have drove and scored again, because at that point Utah had zero pushback on our defense. Then we go up 3 scores to 0. We have 21-0 on the board, and that drastically impacts how their offense calls the ball game. It drastically changes the entire scope of the game. It really does. And because we actually are a team that sprints and we play well from ahead. So although we are equipped to chase and hunt people down, we really play a great brand of football, particularly on the defense. Our defense is better when our offense gives us a cushion, because we can call the types of games and twists and stunts. When I say games, I'm talking about the line activity and the linebacker blending and how we shift and move guys out of their lanes and then put other guys and then drop linemen back into coverage, bring safeties and corners out of coverage into blitzes. Those are called games. We play a lot of good games when our offense gives us a 2-score lead. We play, and that's when we get more turnovers, because the defense is not a boom, boom, boom style. It's a, you better make the right choice, and you better have good eye discipline, or else we're going to intercept the ball by getting in a passing lane. That's why we have 19 or something like that, INTs or something on those lines. We're gonna dial up the perfect blitz or something, and that's why we have, we're in the top 2 or 3 in the country in sacks. Our best defense is our offense having a cushion. Without those interceptions, or without that interception being taken away, and all those weird calls that we had every time we put pressure on the quarterback, because we didn't get any sacks that game.
Yeah.
They gave us no credit for the sacks in that game.
And they took it back.
Instead, we got penalized, and you can tell how passive it made our D linemen rush. You can tell it stopped them from playing with the aggression that was necessary to actually impact the quarterback. And I don't think that that's going to happen this week. I think we're going to put Cam on the ground a lot.
Yeah. And I'm glad. Let's stick with Cam Rising. Well, let's stick with the team as a whole as injuries. I'm gonna start with Cam Rising. USC Trojan 16. He's making a great point. I might as well deal with the injuries real quick. Cam Rising hasn't played the same since he got injured versus Oregon. And man, he from what I understand, he's like 80%. So when we look at that, when we look at Cam Rising, we know that we have to add major pressure, force him to run. I mean, we don't want anybody to get hurt, but listen, we got to force him to run, force him to get on the run. And as far as other injuries, you got Cam Rising, you got the running back Tavion Thomas, who I think was injured, but he just declared for the NFL draft, so he's out. And then you got a D lineman, one of the leading tacklers, Jonah Ellis. He may be out. Also, you got Cam Phillips. He's questionable. So they got a few players, man. It looks like
you said Clark Phillips.
I said Cam Phillips.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know that.
My bad.
I know that guy.
Yeah. Not Cam Phillips. Clark Phillips. So you got some critical key players, leading tackle, D line guy, and then of course you got some other guys. So and Cam Rising. So, but we're acting like it's going to be. We need to play like it's going to be 100% guys. I mean, we can't even focus on that aspect of it. But those are some of the news and note items as relates to those injuries.
Yeah.
So as we move into this game, I really think, and you can tell me how you see it. I really think we can control the clock just like we did with Notre Dame.
Yes. Yes.
They have the same physical presence as Notre Dame.
Yes.
So when you look at it, what's your thoughts on that?
I'm willing to bet my dreads that our offensive line really crushes these guys.
Yeah.
See, at that point, we only had one little taste of the physicality that is actually needed to be successful to finish this season strong. And we got a touch of it in Oregon against Oregon State. Okay. And our offensive line, believe it or not, they showed up. They showed up for what they thought they needed to do. But once you actually get a real example of, I was grossly misunderstanding this. I didn't know that this is what I needed to do. Now I know. And they've never digressed from then. They've never regressed from then. Oregon State, we had to play a very physical brand of football. Then that streamlines us to Utah, where we also had to play a very physical brand of football. But we had a lot of injuries. We had a lot of injuries on our offensive line that game. We had a lot of people rotating in and out of depth. If you guys recall, we were rotating between 3 different types of linemen all throughout, and 2-3 of our starters were missing consistently. So when the Notre Dame game came around, we were finally back to full health again, just like our starters in the beginning of the season. And Utah promised that they were going to bust us in the mouth and knock our teeth out. I mean, I can't even tell you all the stuff I heard. Somebody said they was going to strangle us and put their cleats on our neck and all this stuff. And our young men were just like, okay, man, I'm listening. I'm reading this. I don't need to comment. I'll allow my actions to speak as loud as my mouth ever could. I don't believe that this Utah defensive line can handle our O-line when they understand that they are the best in the country. And I believe that our quarterback really also knows that, you know what, last time I did hurt them with my legs, but I did sit in the pocket a lot longer than I definitely needed to. I think we're going to take off. I think our Heisman Trophy winning QB is about to say, look, I can run this ball too. So it took our QB to play one of his decent games this year. I'm not going to say it was his best game. I mean, he threw for almost 400 yards and he rushed for like 50 to 60 something yards. And he threw 4 or 5 touchdowns or something along those lines. And it took their quarterback his best game of the season. I mean, his very best game. It was not our quarterback's very best game.
You had Jordan Addison that didn't finish the game. You had Eric Gentry that didn't finish the game. We had key players, and we got these key players back. This is the healthiest we've been since the first half of that game.
No, it's true. And you know, the point I'm trying to land is it took Cam to play the very best game he's played in his career. Yeah. They said that was the best game he played in his career. Can you do that again? Because you haven't proven that you could. Not saying that you're not capable. I think you're amazing. I really think you're a top 10 quarterback in the nation. Absolutely. And you're going to have a phenomenal NFL career if they give you a shot. You will ball. you're kind of like a Josh Allen in my mind, and I
I like
respect you.
Cam. I've
And
always
I
liked Cam.
respect you, Cam Rising. I respect you and your family and everything you're about. You're strictly business, and you were able to win that last game. But can you do that again? Because I saw our quarterback not play his best game, and we almost won that game. So I think Cam's gonna push. I think he's gonna press to try to match his last effort. I think Dalton Kincaid is gonna press the tight end to try to match his last effort, which he broke dang near a record. Had 16 receptions for 250 plus passing yards. That is a very difficult thing to do. Literally, that's like what tight ends get in a stat for a whole season. 16, 20 catches, almost 300 yards. He did that in one game against us. He did that.
Yep.
I have no evidence to support that any single player, quarterback, tight end, running back, receiver, could have that much of an impact on us at this phase of the season on our defense.
Absolutely.
I don't believe that they're equipped to shoot out with us. I really don't.
No, they're not. And I think they know what they're in for. And Lincoln Riley said this is not a get back game. I mean, he don't have to say it. I'm gonna say this is a get back game, big time. This is a get back. This is a get back game. Hey, I know you about to get lost in the sauce, but listen, this is a man. Do you realize it took almost a week or two? I've seen some Trojan fans, man. They were talking about it for a couple of weeks, man. It was just so depressing the way it was done. And listen, I cannot wait to this game, man. So look, when you move on, Caleb Williams on the season, he's 65.9% completion rate for 3,700. This is only passing yard, 3,712 yards with 34 TDs, 3 INTs. Cam Rising, 66.4%, 2,629 yards, 22 TDs, 7 INTs. So you see Caleb Williams is just really, way ahead of Cam Rising on that. As we look at Utah's defense, they're allowing 20.1 points a game, 317 yards per game. And of course, they struggle with UCLA, they struggle with Florida, and then they struggle with Oregon. And
they struggle with USC. They struggle with USC.
And they struggle with us. Yeah, most definitely.
Yep.
And as it relates to our defense, we as far as turnovers, we're fourth in the country. We're allowing 26.3 points per game, 405 yards per game. So listen, we got all our major guys back. Of course, Thule's the sack leader. And we're gonna talk about that PFF stuff too, because it's something that's kind of suspect about the PFF All-American. I mean, I love the guys that we got. We got Mekhi Blackman up there. You got Caleb Williams up there, but you got Thule up there, but he's not on the first team with some of the other guys. I don't get it, man. I mean, he's leading the sack. He's leading the country in sacks. Why aren't you on the first team? I don't get that. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, the PFF goes based on game-by-game productivity, not just the whole season. That's why Jordan Addison isn't number on the first team.
Yeah, he's number 2. Yeah.
So the reason those guys are not there is because they basically base the grades off of every single week. So because Jordan missed a handful of games, it stopped his productivity. So he was grading out at 0 for like 4 weeks or 3 weeks that he didn't play. And then the games that Thule didn't get a sack, he was grading out lower. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but those guys that you pay attention to that are in the first team, they were getting like a sack a game, right? 1 sack every game they played. So their grade was consistently stacking, and that's what gave them the status. Whereas Thule would get 2 to 3 sacks in one game and miss a game with sacks, and then get 3 sacks another game. So that's how they do it. So on the average, it averaged out as lower productivity compared to how their grading system works. Now, it's cool that the thing is they give people credit where most of those like polls don't give athletes credit. Like they count stats for position groups that most don't factor in, which I like, because it gives a real overview of how our offensive line does. Like they give kickers credit. They find a way to give you good credit. But what I will say is there's no way that the nation's leading sack artist who's playing in the Power 5 conference, who has played against nearly five top 20 teams and is having that much productivity on a weekly basis is not on the first team. I don't understand it.
It doesn't make any sense.
Hard to justify, actually.
Yeah, our defense, like I said, allowing 26.3 points a game, but you got to look at this. We're second in the country, 19 INTs. You got Mekhi Blackman. He's leading. He's basically what 10 PBUs, 3 INTs. Caleb Bullock has 5 INTs, and then we're 110th in passing, which is at times, we can give up some big plays at times, but let's move on to that as we talk about the passing.
Yep.
What do you think we need to do as it relates to stopping the tight end? Because we know that he was the issue. And we seen UCLA, we kind of contained Bobo, and then Notre Dame tight end, he did score, but we kind of contained him. What scheme? I mean, sticking with the same scheme, or what do you think we should do as far as rotating these safeties and cornerbacks around?
Well, we actually can. We can play man on the tight end. We can play man on Dalton Kincaid. We really can. The thing is can Dalton Kincaid continue to catch every pass like he did? Does Cam Rising have the escapability this game to hit the proper passing lanes? And are the refs going to allow the tight end to push off like he did all game long the last time? And I'm not saying that I'm not whining over how Dalton performed. I just know that when we put hands on him, they called us. When he put hands on us, they didn't. And he was doing a lot of pushing off for separation. So I think we could play a man and spy type of a coverage. And we used to do that at SC all the time because we played great tight ends. Back when I was at SC, there was some really great tight ends, actually. And that's when receivers were a lot bigger than they are in this generation, this era. So sometimes you had to play like kind of double coverage on certain people, and you had to bracket the tight end, and you had to keep eyes on them, especially on the crossing routes. But those crossing routes are slower developing plays where there's someone on top and someone slightly underneath shailing him or shadowing him. I don't think the tight end is going to be that much of a factor. I mean, he may get his grind, he may get his 7-8 catches, but like him being the reason why the Utah offense is solely in the game, I just don't see that. I don't see that anymore because you can't surprise a team twice. That's a good and well-coached team. You can do it once, and then it's a struggle to figure out how to play it. And then, your star backer who is designed to disrupt and, create chaos in those passing windows, he's out of the game. And now you've got a person who hasn't played that position all season in there for the first time in that type of a moment. That's tough. And you got refs working against you. You got the crowd working against you. You got this home cooking. I think that game was super home cooking. And with that being said, now we're playing on a neutral and level playing field, I hope. And I can't see them even wanting that to be their primary game plan. I think if you try to replicate the same success that you had in the last game, I think you're not paying attention to the Trojans. I believe that, and their coach he's a genius too. He's a brilliant coach. He knows that the same things are not going to be available that were the last time in totality. There'll be some things probably because we have struggles that are pretty consistent for the season. But those struggles have never been something that we couldn't overcome except for that game, right? And I just believe that the officials are going to be that variable factor again. Because Michael Mothershed, and normally I don't call these people out, but Michael Mothershed was an atrocious disgrace for an official, and he was for a lot of years. And he retired this year, so I do not believe that he's going to be on the officiating crew. I was told and read that the officials are going to be the Pac's premier top officials who are highly ranked and have integrity. So we'll see. Yeah.
So listen, we're going to get ready to get up to making these predictions. And we want to get to some of those who have questions. Just come on in, bring them in. We got 90 people in here, man. We appreciate everybody for tapping in early this morning. Get your coffee, Get ready to get your workout in, man. Listen, this is your pre-workout right here, along with your coffee, man. You see J-Watt got his. I already down mine already. Listen, Marcus Nelson says, I believe SCD line begin to take their frustrations out on their running back and QB. Listen, I think the way our defense, and I think J-Walk mentioned a key word early on, which was peak. I think this team right now is peaking at the right time. Lincoln said about November, this is the time the teams peak. And, man, we're seeing the team come together. I think overall last week, when you look at the Notre Dame run game, that was pretty much shut down. They had some success, but it was pretty much shut down. And if even in the last game, Tavion Thomas did not have the most success playing against USC. It was the tight end. And so I think we can draw some of that up. And along with some other stuff, man, I think absolutely. He said, Jared says prediction, please.
Hey, JC, all right, we got you.
Hey, you guys throw your prediction in here too. I want to see everybody's prediction, man. I guess I give mine. I give mine first, man. I think I'm not going. I think the way Caleb Williams right now is playing, I really honestly think that the offense is moving in the right direction. Caleb is in the zone, man. I'm not going to shortchange us by no means necessary. I'm still going to throw up to 40 points, man. I'm going to throw up to 40. I'm going to say 41-31, man. I'm going to say that's going to be the score. I think it'll be a 10. I did say a 14-point lead, but I'm going to go with a 10-point lead, 41-31 USC. I think we hold them down a couple a score and a field goal.
That's okay. That's not far from me. I'm in that 44-45 to 34. That was my score.
That's good.
Right.
That's good.
Somewhere in that 10-point range. Again, I just think it won't feel like 10 points. I feel like it'll seem like we've beaten them the whole game, like bad.
Yeah.
But it'll ultimately probably finish within 17 points. But it's just really hard for me to see them having the success away from their home stadium that they had. I just don't.
No, I mean, history does not prove that they can do that.
It's just very challenging for me to see it that way. And I don't know, that could be me just being a homer or wishful thinking. But I just am looking at from what we've done since Cal from a defensive standpoint. And yes, Cal put up points on us at the end of the game, but we were beating Cal by like almost 3 touchdowns or something, in the third quarter. And then slowly, we lost the onside kick. Like a lot of things came into factor, but I don't know, man. It might be even hard for me to see them getting above 30 points. Yeah. But I'm going to say, because it's a championship game, that they're going to fight as hard as they can. And, so they may get the ball bounced their way a couple times. Yeah,
and it won't. In my opinion, it may be one of those things where they score late at the end. That's why I say 41-31. Because if you looked at Notre Dame, that's what happened with them. USC held them. They were scoring over 30-some points. Most of the games 40-some, and USC held them. Man, they were playing lights out defense. It was that I think they got kind of relaxed, and at the end they started scoring. Man, so you got several people put some scores. DT 8119 says 48-33.
I can see that. DT 818
USC. So you got a few people, man. You got a few scores up here. Dang Trojan says 31-17. Dale says 42-28. So we got some guys. Gordon says 42-21. Digital Asset 42-28. So everybody's pretty much on. We all on the same page here as it relates to that. And I think USC is gonna come up big, man. And listen, this is. I talked about the playoff earlier this week. I talked about I feel like we can win the national championship. But listen, today only we got to put that behind and look at just this game right now and focus on the fact that USC is about to make some things happen tomorrow. So listen, hey, I can't hardly contain myself because, man, all I know is one more game. And listen, USC is about to be in a straight up playoffs. Can you believe that one?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think they deserve to be in the playoffs no matter what anyway. I don't think this game should have nothing to do with whether they play in the
playoffs. We can
playoffs.
have that conversation, man, because they're trying to put Bama in there so bad. They already got 2 losses. They're trying to put Bama in there. It's crazy.
Well, just the fact that everybody has pretty much played 12 games. You got some teams that are already 12-0. We're 11-1. Now we are going to actually put that record in jeopardy by playing in we've earned the right to play in a championship game. So you're actually going to penalize us if let's say some crazy stuff happens. Let's say it's crazy stuff and
like it was last game.
like it was last time, right?
Yeah.
And let's say somehow USC doesn't win this game. And it's wild. And it's just like, what? Let's say that happens. So you're going to reward a team who never made it to their championship, who lost multiple games, and you're going to allow them to jump a team that already had the same record as you when the final standings came out, or a better record. We were ranked higher than all these other teams. So now you're going to punish that team that's ranked higher at the end of the season for playing a bonus game? That doesn't make sense. There's no way. There's no way. So in my mind, man, I believe that no matter what, the playoffs should be fixed as it is. Unless one of the teams in the top 4 gets absolutely destroyed. And I still don't think any of those teams should be moved. I really don't. Yeah. I think only within the 4 teams that are there should be some shuffling based on how their championship games go. I don't think that other teams should be able to infiltrate the top 4 without even playing a game. They get to rest a week. They get to watch you play and scheme you up. They get to actually witness you in prime time. Your body gets banged up. You put your record at risk. And then they get to jump you if you lose. That does not make sense to me. Let's really think about that. That does not make sense to me. So the playoffs should be, it is locked in. And that's integrity. Yeah. At the same tenure of the season, you all played the same amount of games, and this was where the rankings fell. Now, the bonus game should just be, hey, this is for your trophy. And then after that, let's get into this playoff. But nobody should be able to jump over anybody that's in the top 4. That is what I believe. And make it make sense otherwise.
Yeah. And if you look at everybody's loss right now, if you look at USC's loss, we know the game was altered, but then it was just by 1 point, and then it came by a 2-point conversion at the very end of the game. If you want to say someone has a bad loss, it's probably going to be USC. What was LSU ranked? I'm trying to remember what LSU was ranked when they beat Alabama. LSU had actually got blown out by Tennessee at home.
Right.
And then Alabama goes there and they get blown out. Well, not blown out, but they get beat. And so, I mean, it's just really, man, the bias is just unbelievable, man. And they want Alabama in there so bad, man. And I've been looking at these other networks, and that's where they kind of go with it, man. But listen, those are we know it's early. We appreciate everybody. Brian says it would make more sense for USC not to play the conference. Yeah, it really. Yeah, man, I totally agree with you, man. I wish it was like that, but hey, they got to go put it all out on the line, which I'm pretty confident that they're going to do it and be successful. But yeah, that's where we at with it. And all those other teams, TCU, I've even heard people making reference to TCU. If they lose, they out. Man, how in the world is TCU? I got much respect for TCU.
I do too.
The fact that they won every single game, and you're going to tell me that if TCU loses, they're out of it, man, get out of here. They are absolutely lost in all the Alfredo sauce early in the morning. It makes no sense. How can TCU lose and be out of it? That's how biased they are, and that's how much they want. It's just unreal.
That's right. That's how much they want. Some of the teams, the Ohio States, the LSUs, no more. But at the time they were talking about LSU, that's how much they want the Alabamas in this playoff. The Clemson, should Clemson get back in? How in the world can you justify Clemson getting back in? How can you justify a 2-loss Alabama getting back in? How can you justify that? Ohio State, maybe. But you've just proven that you can't beat a team that's already in the championship tenure. You've already given credit and proof that Michigan could dog walk you. Now, what happens if y'all play each other again? That does not make sense. It's a head-to-head that should never be put back on paper this year. I really don't believe that it should. If it was a close game, I would say, okay, get a crack at it, just like we get another crack at Utah. It's a close game. That's like, okay, there's a couple of variables there that made the outcome of that game what it was. But when you get murked, I'm talking dragged by your nostril hairs through the mud at home. At home, no way, not at home, bro. Not at home. So we just gonna handle our business, but at the same time, there should never be room for a team that didn't earn the right to play in their championship to ever be bolstered in a higher position than someone who did. Meanwhile, again, they get to rehab a whole nother game, rest their bodies, watch you play in 5K on live TV, scout you, scheme you, see what your postseason game plan looks like, and then get to jump you in case something crazy happens.
There
ain't no way.
Yeah. So we get ready to shut it down. Let me answer this question.
Let's go.
It has two questions here for Dang Trojan. He says, USCJ Jaywalk, what's your favorite hotel to stay on the strip? Also, what are your favorite table games? I personally, I don't gamble, but let me tell you this. If you don't want to stay on the strip, well, let me mention these on the strip. Because somebody mentioned to me about not Caesar's Palace, Circus. Circus is an older it's a much older hotel. It's closer to downtown Vegas. But I mean, if you want to stay there, I know the rooms are going up, but you can look at the Luxor, you can look at the MGM, you can look at Caesar's Palace, you can look at the Bellagio, you can look at the Wynn. But I'm gonna tell you, it's some hotels that's off the strip, which is Sunset Station. You guys can write this down. Sunset Station, or you can look at Green Valley Ranch. Green Valley Ranch or Sunset Station are two hotels that are off the strip that's going to be closer to the Raiders Stadium. Now, right next to that stadium, you're going to have, I think it's the M, but man, that thing is going to be out of control. I mean, I don't know. They probably have it sold out right now. But Sunset Station, Green Valley Ranch, you guys look and see if you can find some rooms there. Those are two excellent hotels off the strip. Did you have anything?
Yeah, there's a lot going on in Vegas this weekend. There's a lot. The Pac-12 championship. There's also like some type of rodeo or card shows.
Yeah, Amazon got something going on, I think.
And Amazon has a big convention or something that they're doing. So there's just a lot of activity going on before this Christmas holiday jumps off. So and as far as gambling, I don't gamble either. You know, I just never got into it, and I just don't like doing things that I can't control my outcomes on. I don't know how to gamble well enough. But I do want to answer some of these questions before we blast out, because I saw a lot of them coming in. We just never got to them. You got time to answer a few of them?
The Super Bowl rodeo. Wow. I didn't know, Dale, that's what's going on. Yeah. That is on. Where's that at? Where's that located? What hotel is that at? It's probably at the MGM or Mandalay Bay or something, but dang, I didn't know that was going on.
Yeah, it's a lot, man. It's crazy.
Too much stuff going on at one time, man. Yeah, it drove the prices up. I see that. So you guys come in with these questions. Oh, it's at the convention center. You think it's at the convention center? Okay.
That's not about right.
Hey, that's just so many things going on at one time, man. I mean, wow.
Sure.
You almost need an RV going out there, man. Yeah. Right about that.
You know it.
So listen, we get ready to get out of here. We had 112 people in here. National Rodeo, USC National Final Rodeo is happening. Yeah, that's crazy. Heather, I really hope USC fans show up in Vegas. We need to fill half the stadium. Absolutely, totally agree. Is Gentry going to be? I don't know about 100%, but I know he'd be there. Eric, I mean,
he's healthy enough to impact. He's healthy enough to impact. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
So I talked to Eric, and man, that's my little bro. He bigger than me. That's my little bro. He taller than me. But man,
he made you look like a. Hey, I got a picture on my Instagram. Man. He made J-Wall look like a midget, man.
Hey, little person, not little person.
Hey, that dude is like, man. Hey, he'll make me look like a midget.
Oh man, big bro. I think they like to be called little people.
So
it's interesting. Like I'm 6'1", almost 6'2". I'm 6'1.5". If you go on Big Bro's page, man, I'm like literally under dude's armpit. Like he is a tall dude, man. Not just tall, but look, he spent about 15 minutes after the game when everybody left the field, signing pictures, autographs with young people and fans in the crowd. I mean, he walked down the whole sideline and was just signing and taking photos and high five because people were screaming for him, so happy that he was back. And that's just a big sign that like him and Austin Jones. Imagine after that game, you tired, you want to get back in, and you know you got press conference responsibilities. They took the time to be with the people who are supporting them and screaming for them. That's a sign of great things to come. That is what the future of this program is. That's what we used to do when we were there. And it's awesome, man. It's just awesome to have that type of, energy back in the Coliseum. Raylan Goforth was doing the same, and Kyle Ford, like just guys who have been just so entrenched in this USC body. It's great to see them getting their respect. It really is.
Absolutely.
I think the defense will have three. I think we'll have 3 turnovers this game.
Yeah. Oscar said, will the defense have turnovers? Yeah, let me put that right there. Oscar said, will the defense get at least 2 turnovers? Yeah, I think so, man. They on the road, man. Caleb Bullock had another one. I think he's at 5 now.
Yeah.
5 interceptions. And where's this question that this was a great question here. I don't know where it went. They said Clemson. Oh, here it is. Ohio State, Alabama should have to play each other. I think they should too. I think they should too. Instead of just automatically. Yeah, absolutely. Man, listen. So Warren Childs just woke up, catching the stream late, but fight on, fellas. Good morning. Good morning to you, my man. Good morning to you. We appreciate everybody. Had 112 in here this morning, man. And listen, it is a beautiful thing. USCJ, are you guys coming to Atlanta? I'm coming to Atlanta. I'm letting you know that right now. Listen, my brace will be off my leg. I may have to wear it. I don't know from tearing my tendon, but I'm coming. I'm coming, limping, hopping, skipping, whatever. Man, I will be there.
Big bro got a brace on. He got a boot on. That's it. That boot from kicking all that butt, man. You over there kicking butt out there. Hey, look, somebody said Eric Gentry should wear number 55. I agree. 55 is a legendary linebacker number. It really is at USC. But 18 is also a legendary number in its own right as well. Again, it's one of those premier numbers. I'm not just saying it because I wore it, but I'm saying it. I wore it because it was given to me. It was passed down by an upperclassman that said, hey, let me tell you the history of this jersey and why no regular person just gets it. You have to be awarded the 18. So I would have given Eric Gentry the 18, but if he wants the 55, I can't be mad at him because that's a very, very iconic uniform for a lineman or a linebacker at USC. On another note, hey, did you guys see Big Bro's shirt? Like, take a look at it.
Oh yeah, I got more coming.
Sauce, baby.
Hold on for 1 second.
Yes.
Hey, I got the shirts coming. So the YouTube store is getting ready to be out. I got more shirts than this, but these are a couple shirts right here. And they will be coming, and I'm gonna get some hats made just like this.
Yeah, buddy. I definitely need mine. Let me rock mine.
So yeah, I'm gonna get that, and I'm gonna have this logo right here on top of some hats, and so we'll get that, man. And you can see it on the side there, USCJ Sports. So listen, we appreciate everybody, man, for tapping in, man. And listen, it's been a great morning. Hey, check the contract, man. Every time I see your name, man, that just tripped me out. Check the contract. We appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you, man. Hey, absolutely. Lost in the sauce. They about to be coming straight directly to you. So listen, man, we appreciate everybody for waking up this morning. Them shirts fresh. Hey, I appreciate it, man. They will be coming.
Hey, smash that like button. Smash that like button. Smash that subscribe. Come on,
look,
man.
You guys will see it. We don't like to hold you over an hour. We right there, 2 minutes to an hour. And so listen, we appreciate everybody, man. Hey, James, love you as well, my man. Love you as well, my man. Much love to you. Touchdown, USC. Fight on, fight on. James Smith, USC doing good. I think they can improve more on special teams. Yeah, we can improve on special teams, but listen, I think everything's good. We did better this game than last game, the game prior, rather, on special teams. So Listen, until tomorrow, listen, tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow is the day. And so listen, hey, everybody be yoked up, be focused, man. Hey, we gotta be focused like we playing the game right now. But listen, hey, it's go time, it's on the popping. And listen, Dr. Saucy.
That's dope. Hey, I love that. That's fire.
Hey, man. Hey, so we appreciate everybody, man. Listen, until tomorrow, man. Yes, B Hunter, the dynasty begins. So listen, until tomorrow, everybody, man, continue to fight on. Pray for them guys, man. Pray for them guys. Digital Asset, love you as well, my man. Hey, pray for those guys that they stay healthy. Pray for a safe game, and pray for no referees get no interference with this game, man. We don't want that at all. We just want a fair game. And look, until tomorrow, everybody continue to fight on, fight on, fight on.
Maurice Dickinson, I would love to play Georgia, just so you know. Just so you know. I would love. There's never been a team or another color uniform in my life that I've been nervous to play, and I feel like our athletes feel the same way. But I respect your opinion, but Georgia hasn't proven that they're that much superior than any other team in this country. Not just USC, but I haven't seen them were they that much superior to Kent State and whoever else they almost lost to. So, hey man, everybody on any given Saturday or Sunday or Friday in football can win a football game, and that's the truth. That's why we won. You knew the outcome was predetermined, it would be fun. But yeah, right on. Fight on. I just had to make sure you knew that ain't nobody scared.
Oh, you good. You good. They coming in as we get out of here. Missouri, they almost lost against Mizzou. And Kent State gave them a fight of their life. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. Missouri and Kent State gave them a fight of their life. And USC is twice as better than that. But anyway, hey, until tomorrow, man, listen, God bless everybody. Continue to stay blessed. Fight on, everybody.
Fight on, Trojan fam. We'll catch you guys on Sunday after the victory.
Let's see here.
We still live, big bro. Yes. Come in.